Title: My husband fell in love with my best friend. I never thought one text message could change my whole life. I was making a birthday cake for my children when my husband's phone lit up on the kitchen table. I was not trying to read his messages, but one sentence caught my eye. I can't wait to spend another night with you. The message was from my best friend. For a few seconds, I could not breathe. I wanted to believe there was another explanation. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe I was misunderstanding everything. My husband, Daniel, and I had been married for 16 years. We had 2 wonderful children. People always told us we looked like the perfect family. We smiled in photos, celebrated holidays together, and shared many happy memories. But over the last year, something had changed. Daniel started coming home late almost every night. He always said he had extra work. He smiled at his phone but rarely smiled at me anymore. He took his phone everywhere, even to the bathroom. If I asked him what was wrong, he always answered, "I'm just tired." I wanted to trust him. I told myself every marriage has difficult times. Days passed, but I could not forget that message. One afternoon, Daniel was taking a shower. I found his old tablet in a drawer. It was still connected to his online account. I opened the messages. There were hundreds of them. Photos, voice messages, plans for weekends together, hotel reservations, romantic words that he had not said to me in years. The other woman was my closest friend, Sarah. I felt my heart break into 1,000 pieces. I called Sarah and asked if we could meet. She looked nervous when she arrived. Before I said anything, tears filled her eyes. She admitted everything. She said the relationship had started almost 2 years earlier. Daniel told her he was unhappy. He promised her that he would leave me soon. She believed him. I stood up without shouting or crying. I simply walked away. That night, I could not sleep. The next morning, I started checking our bank accounts. I discovered something even worse. Daniel had been spending a lot of money. Expensive restaurants, luxury hotels, jewelry, trips. He even used money we had saved for our children's education. I felt angry, but more than that, I felt disappointed. For many years, I had stopped thinking about myself. I stayed home with the children. I supported Daniel's career. I believed we were building a future together. Now I understood that I had ignored many warning signs. When we first met, I was only 18 years old. Daniel was kind, funny, and caring. At least that was what I believed. Looking back, I remembered many moments when he lied, broke promises, or made me feel guilty for asking simple questions. I ignored those moments because I was in love. Love sometimes makes people blind. A few weeks later, I learned Daniel was also seeing another woman. At that moment, I knew I had only one choice. I packed our clothes. I took my children. I left our house. The first months were very difficult. Money was tight. I cried many nights after the children fell asleep. Sometimes I wondered if I had made the right decision. Then I remembered the lies, the betrayal, the pain. I knew I could never go back. I found a small job as a graphic designer. At first, I worked from home. Slowly, I gained new clients. Every month, I became stronger. I was no longer just someone's wife. I was building my own life. When the divorce process started, Daniel denied everything. He said I was imagining things. But the messages, bank records, hotel receipts, and photos told the truth. The judge saw all the evidence. The court made a fair decision. It was not about winning. It was about finally being free. 1 year later, my daughters and I were walking on a quiet beach. The sun was setting over the water. My youngest daughter looked at me and asked, Mom, are you happy now? I smiled. Yes, I said. Not because life is perfect, but because our life is honest. That day, I realized something important. Sometimes the hardest goodbye becomes the first step toward a better future. I lost the man I thought I loved, but I found myself again.